Once upon a time, in a lively little town nestled among rolling hills, there lived a mischievous kitten named Whiskers. Whiskers was not your ordinary kitten. He had a curiosity that knew no bounds and an adventurous spirit that often led him into all sorts of trouble. But Whiskers had a dream, a big, impossible dream. He wanted to drive a car. Whiskers watched every day as the car zoomed by his house. He admired the way the drivers held the steering wheel, the hum of the engine, and the thrill of the speed. It didn't matter that he was just a kitten. He was convinced that he could drive just as well as any human. One bright and sunny afternoon, while his owner was out running errands, Whiskers noticed that the car keys had been left on the kitchen table. His heart raced with excitement. "This is my chance," he thought, his tiny paws trembling with anticipation. Whiskers leaped onto the table, grabbed the keys in his mouth, and scurried to the garage. He somehow managed to open the car door and climb onto the driver's seat. With a quick swipe of his paw, he turned the ignition, and the car roared to life. The sound sent shivers down his spine, but he was too determined to be scared. He gripped the steering wheel with his little paws and pressed on the gas pedal. Car jerked forward, and Whiskers, though barely able to see over the dashboard, was driving. He giggled with glee as the car wobbled down the driveway and onto the road. But the joyride was short-lived. Whiskers quickly realized that driving a car was much harder than it looked. Cars swerved left and right, narrowly missing mailboxes and garden gnomes. Whiskers tried to steer straight, but the car seemed to have a mind of its own. Just as he was starting to get the hang of it, disaster struck. Around the corner came a large truck, and to Whiskers' astonishment, it was being driven by a monkey. The monkey had a mischievous grin on its face and was munching on a banana as it drove. The truck and the car were on a collision course, and neither driver knew how to avoid the impending crash. With a loud crash, the two vehicles collided. Whiskers was thrown from the seat, landing safely in the passenger side as the car skidded to a halt. The monkey, who had also lost control of the truck, was hanging from the steering wheel by its tail, still holding the banana in one hand. The commotion attracted the attention of the townsfolk, who rushed to the scene. Whiskers' owner was among them, his face pale with worry. When he saw Whiskers in the car, his worry turned to disbelief. "Whiskers, what were you thinking?" his owner exclaimed, scooping the frightened kitten into his arms. The monkey, now out of the truck, was being scolded by its trainer, who had clearly lost control of his playful charge. As the dust settled and the cars were towed away, Whiskers realized just how foolish he had been. He might have wanted to drive, but that didn't mean he should. Driving was a responsibility, not a game. His owner gently explained to him that some things are meant for grown-ups, and that trying to do something beyond one's abilities could lead to trouble, not just for oneself but for others too. Whiskers learned an important lesson that day. He understood that while it's great to have dreams, it's also important to know your limits and wait until you're truly ready. And as for the monkey, it learned that driving while distracted is never a good idea, even if it's just to eat a banana. From then on, Whiskers was content to watch the cars go by from the safety of his window. He knew that one day, he might get his chance to drive, but only when he was ready and with proper guidance. Until then, he was happy just being a kitten, curious, adventurous, and a little wiser than before.